Next we can discuss another type of AC circuit, that is capacitive AC circuit. And from the name itself you might have understood the nature of this AC circuit. In this circuit, the only circuit element will be capacitor. Okay, so the circuit consisting of an AC voltage source and a capacitor is known as capacitive AC circuit. Here the source voltage or applied voltage is Vm sin omega t. In this circuit, the capacitor will continuously get charged and discharged in each half cycle. Okay. So you know the AC current will continuously change its magnitude and direction. After one positive half cycle, there will be negative half cycle. So during each half cycle, the capacitor will get continuously charged and discharged. Okay, so therefore the applied voltage V or V across the plates of the capacitor is V equal to Q by C. We had already studied, isn't it? The capacitance C equal to Q by V. So from this, what is V? V is equal to Q by C, where Q is the charge on the capacitor. So here we need to find out an expression for capacitive current also. What is the current flowing? What is the expression for current flowing through the capacitive AC circuit? So that is our next step. For that, we have found out the expression for voltage. Voltage V equal to Q by C. And we know that voltage V is Vm sin omega t. So just substitute that expression here. So you will get Vm sin omega t equal to Q by C. Then differentiate the above equation. When you differentiate the above equation, you will get Vm sin omega t. When you differentiate sin omega t, you will get cos omega t. So here you will get Vm cos omega t into omega, apply the chain rule, equal to 1 by C into dq by dt. You can't differentiate C because C is the capacitance, and for a capacitor it will be constant. So 1 by C. And bring this C to LHS side. So here you will get C Vm cos omega t into omega equal to dq by dt, isn't it? So when you bring C to this side, you will get C Vm omega cos omega t, and on this side you have dq by dt. What is dq by dt? That is current, charge per unit time, that is current I. So you will get current I is equal to C Vm omega cos omega t. So what is the expression for current? Current is expressed in terms of cos omega t, and our voltage is expressed in terms of sin omega t. Our voltage is Vm sin omega t, and current in the capacitive circuit is C Vm omega cos omega t. So it's not possible to compare both voltage and current. So in order to compare these two quantities, both of them must be expressed in terms of the same trigonometric function. So here we need to express the current I in terms of sine function. So how can you represent current I in terms of sine function? It can be rewritten like this: C Vm omega sine omega t plus pi by 2. So cos omega t can be written as sine omega t plus pi by 2. Minus cos omega t is written as sine omega t minus pi by 2. Here it is just cos omega t. So cos omega t is equal to sine omega t plus pi by 2. Okay. Again here we need to do one substitution. Here instead of C Vm omega, you can substitute Im. Okay. So putting C Vm omega equal to Im in this expression, you will get I equal to Im sine omega t plus pi by 2. So this is the expression for current through the capacitive circuit. So our voltage is V equal to Vm sine omega t, and our current is I equal to Im sine omega t plus pi by 2. Just look at the phase of sine function in both the expression. In voltage, the phase is omega t, and in current, the phase of sine is omega t plus pi by 2. So which will lead, voltage or current? Current will lead. Why? Because voltage, the phase of voltage is just omega t, but the phase of current is omega t plus pi by 2. Omega t plus an additional phase of pi by 2. So the current will lead the voltage. So in which circuit current leads the voltage? In capacitive circuit. But in inductive AC circuit, current lags behind voltage. Okay, that is the difference. In resistive circuit, current and voltage are in same phase. No phase difference was there. But in inductive circuit, current lags behind voltage. In capacitive circuit, current leads the voltage by a phase angle of pi by 2. Okay. Now, again we need to discuss about the resistance in capacitive circuit, and the resistance in capacitive circuit is known as capacitive reactance, and we had studied just now current amplitude Im is equal to CVm omega, because in the previous slide we have put this substitution CVm omega equal to Im. Okay, so Im is equal to CVm omega, and therefore what is Vm? From this expression, Vm is equal to Im by omega C. Okay, and when you compare this expression with that of the Ohm's law expression V equal to IR, we know here instead of I we have Im, instead of R we have 1 by omega C. So 1 by omega C acts as resistance in the case of capacitive circuit. Okay, so 1 by omega C is known as capacitive reactance. And capacitive reactance is the resistance associated with a pure capacitive AC circuit. It is denoted by XC. Its SI unit is Ohm. So what is the expression for capacitive reactance XC? XC is 1 by omega C. So that is written here, XC is equal to 1 by omega C. Okay, and from this it is very clear the capacitive reactance XC is inversely proportional to omega and inversely proportional to capacitance, because both omega and C are in the denominator. So that means the capacitive reactance is inversely proportional to omega and capacitance of the capacitor C. Okay, so the unit of both inductive reactance and capacitive reactance are same, that is Ohm itself. Inductive reactance is the reactance or resistance associated with the inductive circuit. Capacitive reactance is the resistance associated with the capacitive circuit. Inductive reactance is denoted by XL. Capacitive reactance is denoted by XC. Okay, so while studying the AC circuits, always compare and study. Then it will be easy for you to remember all those concepts. Now, just look at the graphical representation of voltage and current. So we had already studied that current leads the voltage by a phase angle of pi by 2. So current reaches the maximum value first, then becomes 0, then again reaches the maximum value. Voltage reaches the maximum value only after a phase angle of pi by 2. That means the current is ahead of voltage by pi by 2. So just look at here. This dotted line represents the current graph and this solid line represents the graph of voltage. See here, current becomes maximum at 0, but voltage becomes maximum at 90 degree at pi by 2. So there is a phase angle of pi by 2. Now current becomes 0 at 90. Isn't it? Current becomes 0 at pi by 2. But voltage becomes 0 at pi. So the phase angle is, or phase difference is pi by 2, pi minus pi by 2. Again the current reaches maximum at here, but the voltage reaches maximum after now the average current over a complete cycle is 0. Average voltage over a complete cycle is also 0. Okay. Then what will be the average power associated with the capacitor? So for that we need to substitute the expression for average power. You know average power P is equal to 1 by T integral 0 to T P dt, where P is the instantaneous power and instantaneous power is VI, that is Vm sin omega t into Im sin omega t plus pi by 2. So that is multiplied here Vm Im sin omega t plus pi by 2. And again, so substitute that expression here. So you will get integral 1 by T integral 0 to T Vm Im sin omega t plus pi by 2 dt. And after simplifying the above expression, you will get the average power associated with the capacitive circuit is 0. So this implies that over one complete cycle, the average power associated with the capacitive circuit is 0. And this simplification procedure is same as that we followed in the inductive circuit. Okay. So for both inductive and capacitive circuit, the average power is 0. But for resistive circuit, there was a definite value for average power. And you remember that value? That was I square RMS into R. Okay. Now look at the phasor diagram. Here, just consider a point omega t1 and the blue line represents the graph of voltage and the dotted line represents the graph of current. And what is the value of voltage and current corresponding to omega t1? So for that, draw a line to the graph. So here, see this line cuts or intersects the graph of current at this point and it intersects the graph of voltage at this point. So from this point, draw a line to the phasor plane, and from this point draw another line to the phasor plane. This is the phasor plane. And to draw the phasor of voltage, just draw a vector from origin to the voltage line, and this is the phasor for voltage. And we know here current leads the voltage, so current should be in this direction because this is the first quadrant, so current should come first. So if current is leading the voltage, then current should come first, and from we should construct the phasor for current in this first quadrant. Okay, so here this is the phasor for current. Again, the magnitude of current is less than that of voltage, so that's why the amplitude of current graph is less than the amplitude of voltage graph. So the length of the vectors also will be different. The length of current phasor will be less than the length of voltage phasor. Okay. And here again, the angle between current and voltage phasor should be pi by 2 because the phase difference between them is pi by 2. And from this phasor graph, it's very clear current phasor leads the voltage phasor by a phase angle of pi by 2. So this is our current, this is our voltage, and current is leading voltage by a phase angle of pi by 2. And both the phasors are capable of rotating through the phasor plane by an angle of omega t1. Okay. Children, with this I am concluding my session. Notes of the topic and YouTube video have been uploaded. Please go through it. We will meet in the next session. Till then, take care all of you. Stay home, stay safe, keep learning. Thank you.